Good morning, Card Beauty. It is RJ coming to you on an off day. I said if you watch my Sunday trivia recap, I had mentioned I might do this week, and I want to get it done just because I think time's going to get past me and I'm going to forget about it. And I also want to get this in before the National because a lot of guys are going to be talking about this down the National. But it is time for the 2023 Baseball Card Hall of Fame voting. If you don't know about that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but check out the link below before you vote. Plus, the link below has inside of it the link to the ballot, so you're going to have to watch the video anyway. But Ray from Philly, big member of the card community, certainly known more than I am. I'm not sure if he's known nationally by everybody, but he was the creator of what is currently the most widely publicized, I believe, baseball card Hall of Fame. You know, I say that because anybody could have created their own baseball card Hall of Fame the way Ray did. He just started it, he kept his own list, invited people watching his channel to submit their votes as to what they thought should be in a Hall of Fame of baseball cards, and he kept track. Eventually, it built to something where he became the go-to link. His link became the one that most people went to when they talked about who should be in a baseball card Hall of Fame. So Ray started out about this is year 6 of his voting or creating a vote. He brought in some partners now. His longtime friend Mike from This Baseball Card Life, and Victor from who is the Rookie Card Specialist. Those 3 individuals are running the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. Ray had the smart idea. You know, it's a no-brainer, but he decided to expand it to the Sports Card Hall of Fame network, which means he has reached out to a couple friends of his who are football card experts. Ray is not a football card expert, and they began last year, or I should say earlier this year, the first ballot of the Football Card Hall of Fame, which exists now. They're trying to figure out what comes next, hockey or basketball, and I don't know where it goes from there, but pretty much Ray is the man who started it all, and it is time to vote for the 2023 class. So check the link below. It'll take you to the video that the 3 of them put out just the other day, announcing it's time to vote, explaining to you all the rules, inviting you to look at what cards are up to vote on, telling you the process. I'll show you my ballot in a second as we go through them. One thing I will suggest to Ray and the guys is last year when you put the ballot out, one of the things I was happy that you did was included a link to some kind of list of who was already in the Hall of Fame. I didn't see that this time. One of the reasons is because, you know, if certain players had already been voted, it might have changed my who I thought I should vote on. You know, if you already have 10 cards of Mickey Mantle, maybe I won't vote for a 53 color or whatever, something like that. You know, if you already got like 5 Walter Johnsons in there, I'm not going to pick another one. You know, if you already got 10 Ty Cobbs, why would I'd give my support to somebody else. So that's my suggestion to you guys going forward. You include the current crop of Hall of Famers with the ballot so everybody knows who's already in. Okay, that's all I'll say on that. So give me a second. I'm going to turn the camera around. We will go through my ballot. Okay, hang on. All right, so it is Hall of Fame, the 2023 Baseball Card Hall of Fame official ballot. If you see, there are 40 cards for you to choose from. I think this is smart. When Ray first started doing this, what he would do is just ask people to vote for whatever cards he thought were important, and he would take like the top 10. But I think having him and his friends go through a list that, you know, to me, it's a smart maneuver. I think it's the right way to go. So I fully support them putting up 40 for consideration. I will say this, they are taking recommendations, and if you see a card you think should be on there and it's not, please pester them enough so that maybe they'll add it. I have a couple of those myself right now, and I'll get to when I get to it. But yeah, the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, is 40 cards that they chose to put on the ballot. So we will look at those 40 cards right now. You're allowed to pick up to 10. What I'm going to do is go through all 40. As I get to the ones I've pre-selected, I have my list off here to the side because I actually take some time. When I figure out 10 cards that I want, I usually go up to about 15. I was worried that I wouldn't pick enough. I kept worrying, well, gee, maybe I wouldn't think some of these guys are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. So I wouldn't pick enough, but I always end up picking about 15 in the high teens, and I got to whittle it down to 10, which is good. I mean, that means that there's quality cards out there still to be added to the Baseball Card Hall of Fame, all right? So here we go. I will scroll down and you'll see the format. So if you go down here, here's the first 4. All right, it's great because it gives you a picture of them. And interestingly, he's got 2 cards here from the 1800s, the 19th century cards. I know where the list is. Like, they have a Facebook page as well. It's called the Sports Card Hall of Fame Network. And on that Facebook page, you can find the current list of all the Hall of Fame cards from its inception to 2022, which I did. Now, in that list, there were no cards, 0, from the 19th century, which I think is a crying shame. I think there should be, at least, I don't know, a half a dozen, if not more, 19th century cards that made this list. And unfortunately, they're not there yet. So I'm going to advocate a little bit for some of those. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So give me a second. Boom. All right. So the first 2 cards right there, they chose the 1887 N172 Cap Anton card. I'm not a fan of that card, and I'll tell you why. Maybe they picked it because it was, I don't know, one of the earliest cards of Cap Anton. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe that's why they picked it. I don't like that. I'm not going to pick it because I think they should have chosen a different card or two. So, for example, here is the Allen Ginter from 1888. Adrian C. Anson. This is a reprint. The World Champions. This is one of the 2 cards I thought about adding. The other one would have been a card similar to the other one up there. This is the Judge or Gypsy Queen, the old Judge Gypsy Queen champions, also from 1888. So I think, let me zoom back. I got this card in front of me. That's why I don't need to have it so, so focused. There's that one. And here is the Allen Ginter. These 2, to me, are better simply because of the color, the design. I understand the old Judges didn't have color in them, but with no back either, I'm a little disappointed, so I'm not picking that. I will, however, pick the King Kelly one. Here is, I'll zoom in on that. I will pick. All you got to do is click in the box. Here's my reprint of the King Kelly card. They just call him Kelly, catcher from Boston. Again, this is a reprint. So that is my first selection. All right. And again, I have my 10 to choose from here. So going down to the next group, I'm going to use my finger a little easier. 2 cards, one of which, I'm kind of fascinated about. Here is the 1909 Philadelphia Caramel E95 Honus Wagner. Now, he notes here that this is a new edition, same with the Anson. Those are new additions to this year's Hall of Fame class as far as on the ballot. They're new to the ballot. I love that the E95 is on there. Believe it or not, if you've watched my channel with any regularity, you know I am trying to put together that full set. I have, I believe, 9 at the moment. I will have 12 by the end of the year, and then I got to keep going until I get to all 25. I do have several Hall of Famers. I do not have any of the big names. Obviously, Wagner is a big name card. It will cost me, it's a comma card, if you know what that means. So, but since the T206, let me pull back real quick. Since the T206 is already in that list, I figured the Philadelphia Caramel could wait a bit. So that is my reprint copy, one of a couple reprint copies I have of the T206 Wagner. I'm going to pass on that. What I am not going to pass on is the Walter Johnson, the 1909 Ramley. I'm glad that they have a Ramley example, and I think it's cool that they got Johnson, very young-looking guy in some of the thicker coat uniforms they had at the time too. But I'm happy that a Ramley was included. All right. Now they mentioned that there were no Cy Young cards in there yet. I'm not going to pick the T206 Cy Young. The biggest reason I'm not doing that is I think they could have found a better card. Cy Young been playing for quite a while, and although the T206 is it's the holy grail of turn of the century card sets because of how vast it is, I don't think you should put a Cy Young card from that set as a Cy Young card. There are other vintage examples of Cy Young that should be there. However, the Eddie Plank one I will select because the Eddie Plank is a short print. If you know anything about it, it's one of the rarest cards. Here's my Eddie Plank. Let me go back. My Eddie Plank reprint of that set. It is very, very, very hard to find. One of the hardest to find of all the T206s. In fact, it is rarer than the Wagner, I do believe. But it is a legendary card and really, really deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm surprised it hasn't gotten in there yet. The next one is a Tris speaker. I'm gonna be very selective about picking any T206s at all, just because I think people tend to give the T206s too much weight for being legendary cards. Although there are some legendary ones in the T206s, people who collect vintage cards, certainly around the turn of the century, focus on the T206 too much. And I think that's bad. You forget some of the other classic things. Look at John Mangini, look at Rick from Oddball Cards, Enough Said Sports, all those guys who are really great vintage collectors. And you will see there's a lot more than just T206s back then. So I'm passing on the Tris speaker. I'm going to pass on the Exhibit Lou Gehrig because I think there are better Lou Gehrigs. There's already a couple of Gehrigs who have been voted in. So I'm going to pass on the Exhibit. I don't like blank back cards too much. I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to pass on the DeLong. Although a lot of people like the DeLongs, I'm not one of them. I like the Gaudis better. I know some people don't. Some people love the DeLongs. Dizzy Dean. I don't think Dizzy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame when so many other classic cards are in there. I worry about that in some of the modern cards too. Some players who are Hall of Famers always going for the rookie card of those Hall of Famers, and I think you do a disservice if you just start picking Hall of Fame rookie cards because they're Hall of Fame rookie cards and say they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to pass on the Dizzy Dean. I'm going to pass on the Hank Greenberg for the same reason. I think there's other deserving members of the Hall of Fame and other deserving cards to get in there, which is why I will pick the Heads Up Gowdy Joe DiMaggio. The 39 play ball was already elected to the Hall of Fame of baseball cards. However, when I think of Joe DiMaggio, this is the card I think of. I know the play ball is one of the things people love a lot. It's a 39. This one's before it, and it's just his head on a caricature. But when I was a kid, when I was a young collector, that's the one I always saw at shows, and people loved that card. And I think it's an iconic card, more so than of an iconic player or of an iconic set. The Heads Up DiMaggio is without a doubt deserving of Hall of Fame induction. Moving on, I really did struggle with the 48 Berra. I had that chosen, but I ran out of. He was one of the people that was above 10, and as I was paring down, I thought there were more deserving ones than Joe or Yogi Berra's rookie card. Again, I just don't want to give a nod to the Hall of Fame because it's that person's rookie. So I passed on the Yogi. I don't know anything about the 1950-51 Toleteros Josh Gibson. Don't know anything about it. For that reason, I'm going to skip it. It's certainly not a playing era card because Gibson died in the 40s. So I I don't know enough about it to include him. I'm sure there are period cards out there of even of the Negro Leaguers, so I'd like somebody to find one of those before we vote somebody in the Hall of Fame, like 53 Satchel Paige, maybe 53 top Satchel Paige, or the was it 48 or 49 Leaf? Might have been 50 Leaf Satchel Paige. That would get my vote if that ever gets on the list. You know, I'm going to skip the mantle color because we already got the 52 in there. I'm going to skip the Al Kaline, same thing. I'm not going to vote a card in just because it's some legendary player's rookie card. Not going to do it. I will give my vote to the Cons Wieners, or sorry, Wilson Franks, Cons Wieners, the Wilson Franks Ted Williams. I've loved that card since the first time I saw it when I started collecting. It is an iconic set, believe it or not, the Wilson Franks. And that Joe DiMaggio one is fantastic. Every time I see it on the ballot here, I throw my vote behind it. Okay, we're at the 57 Brooks Robinson, same thing, rookie card, all pass. Roger Maris. I don't know why Roger Maris's rookie card belongs in the Hall of Fame. Nobody's going to convince me. Roger Maris, you Yankee fans out there, you push him all the time. He had a couple great years, 2 back-to-back great years with the Yankees. He won the MVP. Roger Maris was the Brady Anderson of the 50s or the 60s. He had one breakout season and everybody fawned over him. I'm sorry, Roger Maris is not a Hall of Famer. He's a marginal player who had a couple great years, and he happened to have those years with the Yankees. So that's my opinion of Roger Maris. Please send all the hate mail you will. I can take it. Same thing with the Tom Seaver. Not interested in a Tom Seaver rookie card because it's his rookie card. Okay. Same thing with the second year Tom Seaver. It's a nice card. Don't need to vote for it. I'm going to get all day long. I'm going to throw my support behind the 68 3D Roberto Clemente. It's one of those iconic cards in a test issue for the 3D, kind of like the Kellogg's cards that came out in the 70s and 80s, that little quote unquote 3D background, which was really just a blurred image. And that was the test card. It's incredibly rare, incredibly hard to find. It's worth more than his rookie card. So that's going to get me all day long. I'll claim one sentimental card, and that's going to be the Mike Schmidt rookie card. That's my one sentimental favorite. I think that's the only reason Ray keeps it on the list, because it's his sentimental favorite too. But I'll throw my weight to Mike Schmidt because he is mine and Ray's favorite player. Going to skip on the Eddie Murray. I thought hard about the 79 Topps Ozzie Smith. The reason I'm saying that is because one of the things that makes the Ozzie Smith so endearing is the centering. If you know your 1979 centering, you know it's almost impossible to get a perfectly centered Gem Mint 10 on that card set because the centering was notoriously off, bad cut or something. I thought about putting it on there. I had it originally, but I had to pare it down. And it was between that and this one right here, the 1980 Charlotte O's orange version, Cal Ripken. You can see here it's newly added to the list, but this card's another one that's worth more, I think, than his traded rookie card because it's just so rare. But I think the putting that on is better than picking the Ozzie at this point in time. My opinion, I'm choosing the 80 Charlotte O's. All right. Getting into some other newer cards that kind of make me, wonder. They chose the 83 Tony Gwynn, but they went with the O-Pee-Chee here. I don't know why they would have then put on the O-Pee-Chee Sandberg and Boggs. They did not. I'm passing again because it's just a rookie card of a great player. Then you have two interesting cards. I'll skip the Clemens for a moment, but they have the Glenn Hubbard 84 Fleer and the 86 Fleer Mickey Hatcher card. And if you know anything about card collecting recently, is these oddball cards where there's a funny image on it or an image that's unique, they've become iconic cards unto themselves where they almost warrant inclusion in the Hall of Fame simply because the photographers did a great job of getting a unique image. And a lot of people out there have started collecting these, bizarre cards and slabbing them up to try and get good PSA grades. And the 10s can sell for a couple $100, even though they're just marginal no-name players. But at this point in time, there's too many other people who really need to be in the Hall of Fame of sport baseball cards that I'm going to go with. I thought hard about the Clemens card. I hate Clemens as a baseball player. He was not my favorite player. But his rookie card, the 84 Fleer set, is legendary for the big name rookies that came out that year. And the Fleer was the hot set that year. The classic simple blue stripes, top and bottom, made that design a really favorite among collectors. It's got the eye appeal, and having Clemens in the traded set made that set legendary. So I thought hard about that, but I passed. I did not pass on another traded card, the 86 Topps Tiffany Barry Bonds. That gets my vote. As much as I'm not a fan of Barry Bonds, the Tiffany version of the 86 Topps remains an iconic card. It just is. To get it in PSA 10 is quite difficult because of the black border up top, but it deserves the nod because of its place in the hobby. All right. Greg Maddox, same thing. It's just a rookie card to me right now. This one got me. You got the Frank Thomas Leaf, and you got the no name on front from Topps. The Leaf was by far the biggest card that came out in 1990. Everybody wanted that card. It was a mandatory thing to have in your collection. If you were a collector, you had to get a Frank Thomas Leaf. But I think the 1990 no name on front Topps deserves the nod over the Leaf because it's become one of those legendary era cards like a Billy Ripken or the Sherry McGee T206. It's just the reverse negative Dale Murphy. The card itself has become legendary, so I had to go with that. So now, if I did my math correctly, that's 10. I'm going to keep going, show you what else was up for grabs. 1991 Desert Storm, Chipper Jones, awesome. 1991 Upper Deck, Michael Jordan. Put a lot of thought behind that one, but there's other baseball players who deserve it. Mariano Rivera, Bowman. Really wanted to pick Mo. More so because he's an iconic player than that's an iconic card. No interest in the SP Rodriguez. No interest in the Chrome Miggy from 2000, I mean. And no interest in the 2001 Topps Chrome traded Ichiro Pujols Rookie of the Year combo card. So I'm going to go back. Let's count them up. I should have 10. If I've done my job right, I got 10. So there's the King Kelly's number 1. Walter Johnson's number 2. Eddie Plank number 3. Then we go a while to the heads up is number 4. Number 5 is the Franks, the Ted Williams. 6 is the Clemente. 7 is Mike Schmidt. 8 was Cal. 9 was Barry. And then 10 was the Frank Thomas. So yeah, I got my 10. So once you go through, you come down here, all you gotta do is say submit. Now there's nothing stopping you from going larger than 10. I don't think they have a safeguard in that. There's nothing stopping you from voting 100 times and padding the vote for your favorite. They mention this in the video description. Again, check the link below for all that. They mention this in the description, and they say, it's an honor system. So, there's no way for them to monitor everything like that. So I'm glad that they're doing it. But make sure you just do 10. Make sure you just vote once, but please vote. So I'm going to hit submit. Bam. And all it says is you've successfully done it. Thanks a lot. I think, you guys, you got to update your list here. It says stay tuned for voting results on February 11th, 2023. No, I'll have to let them know they need to update their thing. It's actually, I believe, Sunday, August the 6th, they say they'll announce the vote. So there you go. I have voted. I have put in my 2023 Baseball Card Hall of Fame ballot, shared it all with you. I welcome any criticism you have. I welcome you to vote on your own and put out your list of who you think should go in the Hall of Fame of baseball cards, all right? Check out the link below. Once again, give these guys a little love. Make a video like I'm doing and share it online and post it to their website so they know you're thinking of them, okay? Look for them at the National, too. Hope you appreciated that. Please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support here. And I look forward to seeing what everybody else had to say come August. Thanks for watching. Take care.